10. Looks like Sean Dickinson. No, let it go. Oh, Saunders back in the pack. Takes sponsor. Donovan's in it. Sean English is in it. Oh my God. Caution! No way. Or he's gonna dive bomb him. Here he goes. He's gonna try a bump. All the way to his bumper. Can he shove him? Can't do it. Dylan Ord is gonna win it here in Iowa. Bump and run! Oh, he's done this before!
Bump and run, the 61 to the inside. Can he make it work? He's got it.
Inside of the 0-2, he's sliding! Oh, Burrows is around! Oh, the wrecking right in front of him, that's Logan.
Jones is a great run on the high side.
Drive off the corner and...
They're gonna be side by side. This is gonna be a photo finish 3 wide off the wire. And that's the stripe. It's gonna be Ruggles! Oh my God, what a finish! iSCAR is in. We're up and away. Green flag.
61, Dominic Howell.
Oh, he gets hooked! Oh my God! Hard into the wall! Huge track on the start finish line. Who comes out on top?
Dallas Mahan wins.
Dallas Mahan wins it! What? Make quick work of that number 9 of Eric Andrews. Andrews washes up the racetrack. Oh, what's going on? Oh, no! Oh, they're gonna be wrecking. That's the big one. Oh my God, Connor's involved. They're still wrecking. Four, three, two. We welcome you here live for the Richmond 200 iSCAR TSP Cup Series. As I skipped number 1, sorry about number 1, but anyway, we're getting ourselves set to go green here for 200 laps at Richmond. My name is Ezeckiel Reyes,
and I'm Dewey Schramm. Welcome to the broadcast.
It should be a fun one as we go ahead and get ourselves set up for this for a long one tonight, because this is not your classic 1.5 miler. This is a short track, and we're gonna be logging a lot of laps for tonight. NIS length, so 200 laps in total. And yeah, I'm interested in how it's gonna go. Points order gonna be shown in front of your screen. Ryan Kendrick currently holds the lead. Daniel Falkingham is second. Malachi Drake in third. Aaron Mulrooney in fourth. Derek M. Smith in fifth. Nick Miller, Truxler, Quan Schmidt, Alt, who's banned from the series. Heater, Austin Johnson, K. McGee, Jones, Stamp, DiMaggio, Hankins. I forgot to type in Cole's first name. There we go. Cole Woody, Drake, and Brandon. All
not shown on the screen. Buzz Lightyear is 21st in points.
All right, we'll dive into practice as of right now. Top driver's going to be shown on the left-hand side of the screen. Currently, a total of 24. Yeah, 24 here for tonight. So we should be interesting on how this will all come down, and who's going to get eliminated before halfway, because 200 laps is a lot. I'm guessing these drivers are just going to roam around, but this is the most amount of laps for an iSCAR race. But in a few weeks from now, we go to Martinsville, and that's 250 laps. So I mean, here and there, we're logging in a lot of laps.
Whoever commentates Martinsville will probably leave the session with a headache. because that's going to be a long one.
Yeah, man. I can tell it's going to be a long one because Martinsville is just, you log in 20 laps, you get a caution, you log in another 20. It gets worse. When you
More
go
like
deeper.
you're logging 3.
Yeah, just about. My goodness.
So, how about that 28 car of Ryan Kwan so far? Looks like he's leading this little practice session we've got going here. Little underdog up at the front, even in front of the Prox guy of Aaron Mulrooney. Good for him.
Yeah, as we round out practice, Kwan will lead practice as it ends. So we're going to slide ourselves to the side and play the national anthem. Rise out and remove your hats as we salute our nation's colors. If you're not joining us here live, welcome to the Richmond 200 iSCAR TSP Cup Series, round number 10 out of 20. We're coming up on the halfway point soon. We'll take the green at Talladega coming next week, but as of right now, we're setting the order here for this 200 lap event, and on top of the board is your points leader of Ryan Kendrick. That's 65, has yet to pick up a win this season, but that number 65 looking strong as of right now.
Well, that goes to show you that consistency can go a long way, because even if you don't get a win, as long as you finish in the top 5 and the top 10 every week, you'll still gain a lot of points. Because you could win 5 races, but then DNF the other 5, so
right.
Consistency is key here.
So that 65 of Ryan Kendrick going to put his machine to the front. We're going to pull up standings here in just a moment on my other screen, so we'll get a rundown of deeper statistics. Kendrick, consistency, even though he has 2 top 5s, he has 6 top 10s this season. Has yet to pick up a win. The person right behind him, Daniel Falkingham, has 3 in 6 starts. Kendrick has 0 with 8 starts. So even keeping that car on the racetrack and logging in as many laps as he can, he's going to start up front here for tonight. As the time ticks down, I'll take a look at some drivers, Roman, around the racetrack as of right now. A couple of rookies in tonight's field. James Visconti, the 098. He's currently logging himself in P number 10. Sean is Glenn Bundren, number 98. 098. I'm sending that name to Dog. he's gonna scorch me if I try to pronounce that. If I try to pronounce his name.
I can get the first name, but I probably couldn't get the last name. His first name is Jean Francois, but I'm not sure about. Maybe Poitois. That's a guess. I'm sorry in advance, but I like to think I'm decent at names, but that last name, that's
we're sending that to Dog. We're sending that to Benjamin. I wonder what he's gonna think of that one. Benjamin, if you're watching, please enlighten us. Currently 32 seconds remaining in practice as of right now. The only person remaining on the racetrack is the 78 of James Visconti, who's yet to log in his 2. But in total, I think a total of
Word hard.
25, 24 drivers here for tonight. So not a huge field, but I mean 200 laps is gonna eliminate at least half. So I wouldn't be surprised to see at least, I mean, at most, at most, I don't even know, 15, 16 cars on the racetrack left for this one.
We could see a situation like the bronze race at Charlotte Wednesday night, where we had about 22 cars start the race, and I believe 9 finished. And that was only about 60 laps at Charlotte, so
right.
You know, based off of that, we'll probably have a similar amount of elimination tonight. As you know, with short track racing comes short tempers, so some of the wrecks tonight may not be accidental. We'll have to see.
Right, and the starting order going to be shown in front of your screen. Congratulations to the number 65 of Ryan Kendrick for starting himself up front. Derek M. Smith going to be in second.
And in row 2, we will have the proximity driver of Aaron Mulrooney and Dylan Basin to his outside in 4th.
Row number 3 going to be Nick Miller, Miller Motorsports Machine, as well as Andy McDowell in that number 20.
And in row 4, we'll have the 408 Racing member of Koloa Hankins, and to his outside will be the 98 of Glenn Bundren.
And the final row, we're going to read out that row number 5, Alex K. Greats in the 017 and John in the 098 here for tonight. Rest of the order is going to be shown on your screen. Got a lot of drivers. Oh, man. Some new names here for tonight. Wayne Lavery is in here.
Matthew Klein's back after a long absence. I think this might be his first Cup race back.
Right. We were just talking about James Visconti. He's ran a couple of races already. Garrett Hess makes a session. I'm surprised. Rob Nelson here in the 999 yet again. So he was fast in the Charlotte race. Corbin Collins as well.
There's Hunter Ellis. He debuted an iSCAR in the bronze race Wednesday night. So good to see him returning for another go around.
All right, so here we go.
So how about some weather, shall we? As someone just hit the wall on the bottom.
I don't even know what they're doing.
All right, so I'm meteorologist Dewey Schramm with your race day forecast. Your current temperature is 76 degrees, pretty toasty for the fans in the stands. A very dry air today with a humidity of just 1%. Very, very dry. Make sure you have some water up there. Your track temperature will be 78 degrees, so pretty cool relatively. Your wind will be coming out of the south at just 6 miles per hour. Perfect racing conditions for tonight. And as long as the rain stays away, we are in for a good one. Back to you, Ollie.
The race analysis is going to be shown on the right-hand side of the screen. 200 laps in total, 150 miles. Pit window, it was a bit shorter than I thought, 75 to 80 laps, or 75 to 85 laps. Pit road speed is 40 miles per hour. There's the number 65, Ryan Kendrick. He's going to start himself on top here for tonight. Oh boy, what can that 65 do, as he's going to have a mirror full of one of the fastest in the business, that number 2 of Mulrooney.
I'm sure Kendrick would love to win tonight. As you mentioned in the pre-race show, he has not won a race this season, though he leads the points. So winning tonight would greatly help him extend his points lead, and would also boost his confidence, knowing, hey, I can actually win here. So I'll pull for you, Ryan. You got the speed.
All right, Ryan has already been in victory lane in the truck series where we picked it up at Daytona, but otherwise than that, oh my goodness.
The car in the inside wall. I think that's the same car that spun when we started pacing. I don't know who that is, but maybe he has some connection issues or something. I'm not sure what's going on back there.
Pace car works itself up starting for green flag, and we're up and away for 200 laps here at Richmond.
As Derek M. Smith manages to get himself down into second place, as Mulrooney didn't get the jump he quite wanted to, but there's 200 laps for him to get by him, so there should not be any rush to get to the front here.
Field works himself right up the turn, and Basin got real sideways off. nearly tagged the 2.
Looks like he was shaking a little bit off across the line. Maybe maybe his car's too loose or something, but hopefully he can manage to stay out long enough if there is a problem to maybe pit and get some adjustments done during the window. If that's the case.
Whoa,
oh, what
20.
a big wiggle by the 20. Wow.
Yeah, that was Andrew McDowell in that number 20. It looks like these cars are loose, but again, cold tires playing into effect. So we have got at least, I think, 3 or 4 lapses, and he's still loose. 017 and Alex K. Gray is going to work to the bottom side of the racetrack with the 98. Glenn Bundren. 2 cars did not log in a lap. Rob Nelson and the 21 of Wayne Labrie. They will not start the race as James Conti will also suddenly disconnect, or either he's blinking out. As that set ourselves our sights into 3 and 4. Still green flag for 5 laps as we work to start work across the start-finish line. Number 66, Derek M. Smith.
McDowell's slow on the bottom, I think. I think he just wiggled again out of turn number 4. He just dropped a couple spots out of 4.
Oh, car on the wall.
And he goes around. That's the 92 of Connor Brannon, and there's the caution.
The
and he hits the outside wall.
And down. Well, everybody's just taking evasive action, and the Connor machine. Not number 92. It's been a victory lane at Pocono, but unfortunately for him, a big wreck. Gonna bring him to a halt as we work on the first caution of the day.
Looks like Cold Tires claim another victim here, claim their first victim, as he just got loose off the corner and got into the wall and couldn't quite keep it straight. Almost got it saved, and then he came back up and hit the outside wall, but luckily nobody else made any contact with him.
Yeah, the car locked left. I'm surprised it didn't grip itself, as you see some pit action being made. My goodness, cars.
I believe that was Ryan Kendrick that got pranked on the pit road there, as the rest of the top 5 stayed out and Ryan Kendrick did not.
Alright, interesting. As everybody works on the pit road this time by. I changed the camera. Apologies about that, but yeah. Some drivers wanted to come in or stay out, and your pulsator, that number 65, comes on in. We'll take on 4 and fill it up with Sunoco fuel, as well as Andy McDowell, obviously very loose on that machine.
Perhaps some adjustments being made here in the early going, as drivers are probably taking advantage of the early caution and saying, well, here's my opportunity to try and fix my car, so let's see if there are any adjustments made here on this start. And whoa! Good thing there's no collisions in the pit stalls, because that was a close call with the 26 of Matthew Klein there.
Right. Field works itself to the start-finish line. Derek M. Smith will be your leader coming to the next restart. And that'll be Aaron Mulrooney, the number 2, right behind. Derek has been to victory lane once. Happened here in the Cup Series at Vegas. Beat out Nick Miller and his teammate, actually his team owner, to pick up the win there. But ever since, he's yet again on that same dry spell. But I wouldn't be surprised to see that 66 in victory lane again, because Derek is fast. So now just joining us here for tonight, Richmond 200 iSCAR TSP Cup Series, getting set to go green here just momentarily. Currently under caution after Connor Brannon hit the wall off of turn number 2. The person who barely avoided that was the number 38. I think that was Mitch Hobbs. Mitch, you see him right there in front of your screen. Started in 15th, currently now 11th. He did come in on a pit road, slap on 2. But there's Connor Brannon right in front of your screen, currently sitting 20th in points after he didn't show up for multiple races. But Connor, first time back here after a long break. Unfortunately, he tags the ball off of 2, and it's just not going his way right now.
Looks like he's got some right front damage from that contact.
Right.
Hopefully it's just cosmetic, but if it's more than that, then he might have a long night ahead of him now, as we're only 10 laps in.
Right. The right front matters a lot, especially on a short track. They run 750 horsepower short tracks, so a lot of power under the hood of these machines, and hopefully these drivers could maintain the power and keep their car straight. But as they work around here, coming to lap number 11 out of 200, Derek M. Smith, the one to lead it to the restart. Pace car eyes it onto pit road, and Mulrooney tries to jump. You see the 017, a bunch of contact right behind, and that ruins the 017's front end. I don't know if there was like a bit of blinking issue, but you see there, Nick Miller, the one to get shoved out of that. You see the whole back side of his car is completely destroyed after that contact at the restart.
Nick Miller got a great restart too, and unfortunately he got, I don't know if he got held up or what, but Greats just piled right into him. Not really sure what happened, but it's unfortunate for Miller, who, like I said, did get a good restart, but he still finds himself in second. So hopefully, like with Connor Brennan, it's only cosmetic now.
Right, it's short track damage. You're bound to have a fender bent or two, but luckily for that 9, he's still in second place. It's not too bad, as you said. It's just about cosmetic, and the person who ran into him was the 017 of Alex Tate.
He got the wall there.
Tagged the wall, right? Yeah, there he is. You see the whole front end of his machine is buckled, unfortunately, but we'll have to see how that front end will be, because with a lot of front end damage like that, I wouldn't be surprised to see a blown motor, because these engines do get hot sometimes if you have a lot of front end damage. Whoa!
What a save! My goodness! And
man, nearly slid into
he almost
Mulrooney.
came up with a teammate there. Yeah.
Now, a lot of these drivers fighting off a loose race car, and it's lots of trouble points off it too. Alex still trying to attempt to run the low side. Bundren gets a slight wiggle. Keloa Hankins the one to go ahead and pounce.
Turn 2 seems to be the real trouble spot for the drivers so far this race compared to turn 4 or turn 3. So I think someone just got the wall right there too, but hopefully doesn't turn out to be a huge issue and these guys can iron out their problems before someone spins again like Connor did.
In the meantime, that number 66 of Derek M. Smith is pulling away as a whole second ahead of his teammate Nick Miller, who has a bunch of rear end damage. I don't know if that's affecting his machine. We do have a yellow though, and it'll come out on lap number 17, and Connor Brennan again.
Oh no. Well, if it wasn't cosmetic or if it wasn't actual damage before, it probably is now.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's a bunch of front end damage.
Yeah, unless he retires here, it looks like he'll be leading the modified division for the rest of the race.
Oh, man, he had a whole bunch of front end damage before the start, as he just self-spins right up off the corner.
Perhaps it happened while if he pit on for the last caution, perhaps they did that while they were repairing damage, but
no, usually iRacing doesn't rip off.
That's weird.
I don't know if he got damaged like here. Oh man, you see right there.
Oh, that's the 028. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
Connor just ran into him.
So as I was saying, turn 2 is a trouble spot. Then we have a problem at turn 4. So.
Yeah, I guess it's just the exit of turns. These cars are just all sorts of loose, and unfortunately, Connor Brandon was just a victim of circumstances right there and tore the whole front end off of his machine. On top of that, he self-spins right up off the corner. Luckily for him, he does bring himself a caution out to head on the pit road, but
as he's still on the lead lap somehow, so
right.
Not all hope is lost yet.
Yeah, again, this is a race of survival, because all these drivers got to keep themselves, I would say, as healthy as they can before halfway, because once you hit that halfway point, it's go time. But unfortunately for Connor, can't really go anywhere with that amount of damage. We'll have to see on how his engine will hold up during this these next few runs.
Hopefully he doesn't lose a lap here repairing damage, but it's entirely possible that he already has. As Ryan Kendrick makes his way off of pit road, and he does not beat the leaders out. I'm not sure if they'll keep him on the lead lap, but I'm not sure why he pit again. The Pulsator's now pit twice already in the first 20 laps.
Alright, he does have a bit of right side damage, and he does get trapped one down, unfortunately. Connor, there he is, heading himself back onto pit road. That number 92 machine just got out early so he could come in and repair more damage, but number 92, Connor Brandon, things are just not going his way as of right now in his return. Alright, and, well, even though Kendrick is the only one lap down, if he does catch a caution, he'll put himself back on the lead lap easily, so we'll have to see. And as long as he doesn't get involved in an incident, we'll see if Kendrick get the waiver on. Some more drivers heading on to pit road, Andy McDowell and Eric Stamp, the 09, number 20, and the number 20, all on pit road, just putting themselves in the rear and just logging laps.
So this restart will be interesting for Alex K. Greats in that 017, is now, you know, with that damage he suffered on the last restart, we'll have to see how his acceleration is coming off of the restart now and see if he can maintain his pace with the other cars up at the front.
Yeah, you're right. Make a good point there. Should be interesting. As we take the 1 to go signal this time by, we double up. Top 10, bunch of new names up here in this top 10. It's Basin, I mean, he's sort of a regular now. Ellis, Hunter Ellis in the 01. You usually don't see him run toward the top 10. DeAndrea, the 028, is toward the top 10, as well as Chloe Hankins. But no offense to those drivers, just interesting seeing those people run toward the front. Might be short track ringers here for tonight, but the pace car slots itself down on the pit road at 66 of Derek M. Smith. Ever since he juked out Kendrick on the restart, he has led every single lap. Green flag is out. We're back up and away here at Richmond.
Green.
Oh, the outside just stacked up. Looks like Aaron Mulrooney did not go at all. And that will put Alex K. Greats up into 4th place. Not sure what happened there. Perhaps he spun the tires, but very poor restart for that 2 car.
Themselves here as we're side by side for 2nd place. It's Nick Miller, the number 9 machine, trying to make something happen. Basin on the low side, that number 68. So he works himself down low and tries to defend out position. K. Great's going to shove himself to the low side. Nice move by the 017, but can he get a run off the corner? He's still side by side with Miller, and looks like that front end damage.
Andy McDowell in the wall in the background. He kept it going, but caught it out of my eye there.
We're still under green as multiple cars slide against the wall. We do have a yellow though now, and happening toward the rear of the field. Oh, big wreck.
And that's, I believe that's the 028 again, and that's the 098 of Jean-Francois Patra, and I think that's a 73.
Oh my gosh.
As the 028 just hit the wall again.
Yeah, we'll get a replay of what happened there as we're looking in on the leaders, but that was a fairly big wreck, honestly. As looks like the goodness.
Looks like the 028 got on the wall and everybody else just piled in.
Ooh, that's a big hit to the inside wall. My goodness, that involved at least a quarter of the field. Corbin Collins is in it, the 73.
Garrett Hess slapped the inside wall there right before turn 1 as well.
Oh,
wow.
Crazy how he just tagged the wall.
Look at the 79 of William Schmidt make his way through that wreck. Didn't hit a thing.
The crazy thing off of that, he just tagged the wall, and it shot his car dead to the inside. We'll get an onboard of it. I've never seen anything like that before. It's right there.
Wow. Oh, the 098 just nowhere to go. Just got clipped right there. So maybe we can get an onboard of the 79 cars. He made it through the entire wreck unscathed, I think.
That was William Schmidt in the number 79. Yeah, I said survival tactics are key, and get an onboard of how the 79 escaped it. And you see them wrecking as... Oh my goodness! William got real lucky. A hole opened up for him, and he scooted himself through.
That was a typical Richmond big one. Is, you know, in the real life NASCAR, often you see big wrecks happen at Richmond. You look back at 2016, you could look at 2008. Wrecks like that are not uncommon, but it's unfortunate they happen this early in the race, as a good chunk of the field now is damaged or could potentially be out.
That'll put the 70, not the 79, or it would be I think Ryan Kendrick in the 65 will be on the lead lap.
So, a lot of rear end damage there. Not sure where he picked that up, but perhaps that's what his issue was last caution.
And he got trapped one down, but the previous caution, luckily for him, gets the wave around, puts himself back in the lead lap. Unfortunate to him, he's going to be that machine is unfortunately going to have to, what you call it, start all the way in the rear of the field because of lucky dog rules. If you get the lucky dog and take the wave around, you're automatically EOL'd, end of lined. So we'll see how the 65 with older tires, because you do have to stay out to get a wave around. The 65 of Ryan Kendrick will shuffle for this next start, as he's actually on pit road because he already took the wave around.
A couple other cars coming back down for service again, including the 20 and the 72 car. As Connor Brandon is now 6 laps down, so I think he just packed it up and went home after being involved in those first couple incidents. Hopefully he can rebound next week at Talladega, but that's Talladega.
You said he throughput. It's interesting. Don't know why the 92 throughput, but unfortunate for him. Connor couldn't be able to Connor wasn't able to qualify because he throughput, hence why he had to start himself toward the rear. And unfortunately for him, he got caught up in a couple of incidents, and one of his own, and that'll just end off his day on lap number 30. It was a couple laps prior than that, 7 laps prior, so I guess lap 23, not 30.
As we're only on lap 30, and it looks like we've already lost a fifth of the field here, as everybody from 18th on back already has a significant amount of damage or didn't start the race. So we're talking about surviving the race, but it looks like almost a third of the field already is multiple laps down. So
right,
as Greats is right on the back bumper of Smith for this restart.
He's trying to push him to get him going, and here he goes.
Green flag,
because of that, Greats got a nice restart on base, and will take it down to the inside and hopefully take position. Themselves into one. Basin shoves himself into the corner. That second groove can work as long as you get a run right up off of exit, and Basin defends out. A nice move by that number 68 as Alex really shoving it in. Near contact there for second. Already singles out, but Basin's leaving a lot of bottom to get a nice arc right up off the corner. You see on sideways. The 017 is right there. Basin able to pull himself through, defend out second place. But as of right now, the person who all our eyes are on is that number 66, is Derek M. Smith.
It's Matthew Klein in the 26 with a solid top 10 run, and as I said that, he falls out of the top 10, but good to see him, competing early, as he hasn't raced in a long time. So hopefully he can keep that up and survive to the end.
There he is. Corner as he spins it.
Commentator Jinx is evident here, and the caution will come back out. Sorry, Matthew.
Oh no, man. Matthew Klein.
that was the commentator Jinx in a nutshell right there. I apologize.
Oh no. Hate to see it. He was starting to roam around on an island of his own, and unfortunately, just again loose race car under the hood of that machine, and you see the car just break out right up off the center of the corner, and Klein goes around. Luckily, nobody hits him, but he does whip it around. He tries to keep it straight, and the car stops and stalls. But yeah, Klein will drop back all the way to 17th place, unfortunately.
Yeah, Matthew, if you go back after the race and watch this broadcast, I owe you for that one.
Oh my gosh, some drivers are still not gonna pit. I'm interested. Wondering why they're not coming into pit, but maybe once they come up on the fuel run, they'll come into pit, because I think tires. Excuse me.
Yeah,
tires for right now are just not really a factor.
Yeah, it looks like Derek M. Smith's pretty, based off of his performance so far, Corbin Collins will get a lap back here. Looks like Derek M. Smith seems to be pretty comfortable with his car so far, so, if you don't need to pit yet, why? Why would you pit? So,
Right.
I mean, for the guys with damage, I get it, but, of course. But I suppose until you have to hit your fuel window, might as well roll with what's getting you in up to the front.
Right.
As the top 5 have not pit at all yet, and Malachi Drake in 6th, I believe he last pit under the first caution, so...
Yep. Yeah, the people who stayed themselves out, they got a nice track position. This is a passable racetrack. It ain't one groove. You could, well, use the bumper and shove something out, but there's also a second groove around the racetrack, so these drivers are taking track position rather than tires, so pretty interesting. Interesting calls by a couple of these guys. Sounds okay, great. It's all the way to the low side, but working on our fourth, excuse me. The most amount of cautions we've had in an iSCAR race was 13. And that happened somewhere.
We had a shot, as half the race has been run under caution already.
Yeah, yeah, there's a shot. Especially with 200 laps, of course there's a shot.
I hope we don't hit it.
Yeah, I hope too, but I mean, I've been in NIS races in which we've had 20 cautions. That was horrible.
The 2005 Coca-Cola 600 had 22 cautions in it. So just for reference, we don't want that either.
Yeah. It's fun to have wrecking, but my goodness, get some racing in.
Yeah, if you go on YouTube and you look up, 2005 Coke 600 crashes, you're going to be sitting there for a long time.
Yeah, jeez.
As I think we might be getting the one to go here.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get the one to go, as lap slide is going to be shown on the bottom left side of your screen. Derek M. Smith has led 34. Ryan Kendrick, who's all the way stuck back in traffic, is there's his car. That number 65, the whole right front of his machine is buckled. Unfortunately, he's only led 3. But yeah, we'll come to green next time by.
As Derek M. Smith, the dominant car of the day so far, hopes to build on that and maintain the lead, but Dylan Bason's hungry on the outside. Dylan Bason's been on a pretty good run here since he debuted in iSCAR back at, I believe, the bronze race at Chicagoland, so I'm sure he'd love to break through the win here tonight.
Yeah, nearly took the W there at Chicagoland as he nearly beat out Webster in the 45. Pace car is in. We're back racing as a lot of drivers are looking in and out. McDowell attempts to go to the low side, but he can't pass under before the start-finish line.
Looks like at first Malachi Drake may not have gone, but then he just shot up to the high side and got a good run into turn 1. Not really sure what happened there, but a lot of cars went scrambling.
Malachi in that number 90. Not in his usual machine, but still up there running Indy top 10 as that Lola got turned.
Keeps it going, but he's going to drop almost all the way to the back. Actually, that was a 38 of Mitch Hobbs that tags the wall, but still a long way to go. He's not not done yet. So maybe a blessing in disguise for him. Still a long way to go.
Right, a caution could come out and just rebunch up the field yet again, but it just matters on who survives. We only have 17 cars on the lead lap as of right now as we're on lap number 42. Some passes being made up here toward the front, and it's Mulrooney, who's going to work himself by his teammate of Alex K. Greats.
Solid pass there, and that'll put the 2 car up into the 3rd position. Looking to catch Basin and Smith, who paced the field all day today. So looks like they've gotten themselves a little bit of separation from the rest of the field. So side by side will be beneficial to them.
Whoa!
Oh, stamps in the wall, and the 01 does not go around, or now he does.
Yeah,
no caution yet. There. Oh, there it is. And there's the caution Mitch Hobbs is looking for. Merely 2 laps after he needed it. and we'll round them all up and go green again.
That was interesting. I don't even know if there was contact being left. I didn't see it, but Ellis was on the low side. Inside. Oh, man.
Looks like it was just an overreaction by Eric Stamp, and he just overcorrected trying to avoid the L1, and then the L1 just went around by himself.
Oh, no, there.
Never mind. There's the contact. That couldn't see it from that previous angle, but looks like the L1 didn't really get that much damage, so
yeah,
the 09, however...
Yeah, whole right side's torn off that machine. He's actually going to go ahead and park it. So that'll put now 16 cars on the lead lap. Or actually, still 17 because the 73 of Corbin Collins will get the wave around next time.
As some cars make their way onto pit road for more services. I find it interesting, even guys that weren't involved in that last incident or the one before that still are pitting here. So
I guess they just want to be at the tail end of the field. But, I mean, this ain't a super speedway. Keep yourself out of wrecks. You need to be up front and out of harm's way. Or all the way dead in the field. But since there's just so many people pitting, that whole middle portion of the race, not middle portion of the racetrack, but middle portion of the pack is bunched up with a lot of people who want to lay around rather than gun for it. So it should be interesting how all those people will sort out.
And Dylan Basin actually pit from second place there. I don't know if that was caught or not, but so now that'll put the proximity teammates of Greats and Mulrooney up to second and third, and league co-owner Nick Miller will restart fourth here.
I'm gonna do a radio check. Just give me a moment.
I had to cue some Jeopardy music now during the broadcast. As we see Derek M. Smith just messing with the pace car. I want you to go out there and hit the pace car.
Alright, apologies about that. I'm back as we got ourselves set back to race here, and we're crossing the 1/4 mark of the race, so still at least an hour remaining in this 200 lap event. So yeah, just if you're not just joining us here for tonight, go ahead and sit back and watch as pace car is leading the most laps in tonight's race.
I think Derek M. Smith might have a couple more, but pace car's not that far off.
Alright, we're doubling up for the restart. 66 Derek M. Smith. And Aaron Mulrooney will lead the field to the charge. Go. Set up. We're now just showing us here for tonight. About to go green off of caution number 5. Base car is in. Derek M. Smith will hit the throttle. We're up away as Alex gets turned right up off the restart.
What a save. That could have been a huge crash off the restart. As Miller with a big run into turn 1, but
all these drivers are all over the place.
As Alex K. Greats will not be happy about that one, but he's still in 6th or 7th now, so he didn't lose that much track position, but I'm sure he's a little peeved about that incident. I'm not really sure what happened there, but I think McDowell might have gotten into him by accident. Misjudged the restart. A
lot of drivers are trying to time out the restart because there's a wide passing zone on the restart. Into one, you see a bit of contact there with McDowell and Dylan Basin as they go side by side into one.
As Derek M. Smith has almost a 1 second lead already off the restart with that. Whoa, I think someone just got loose there, but yeah, Derek M. Smith's already opened up a pretty good lead here over the rest of the field.
There's Nick Miller, the number 9 machine, trying to track down that number 2, Aaron Mulrooney, and he has so. It's just a matter of how he's going to pass as he worked right up off the corner. Looking close here for 4th place. McDowell under fire by the number 68. He's going to work himself to the low side and pass him in 3 and 4. But can Basin make the pass right off because that second groove is kicking in, but McDowell can't hold up the high side, and Basin works himself into 4th place. They're slowly catching this 3rd place car. You see a couple of machines hit the wall right off the corner. They're sort of catching this 3rd place car of Nick Miller and number 2 of Aaron Mulrooney. It's Derek M. Smith, the one who's flying, even with just old tires. I'm surprised. About 20 laps on those tires. He's holding up against all these people who did take tires. But Basin has the freshest tires in this field, hence why he's probably catching these people up front of him.
Yeah, Derek M. Smith, I don't think hit once the entire race so far, so
Yeah.
interesting to see those tires, like you said, holding up as long as they have. As I think we're only about 15 or 20 laps from the fuel window now, so depending on how long this green flag run lasts, we could have some green flag pit stops, and with the amount of cautions we've already had, I hope we do get a green flag run here.
Yeah. I'm interested to see on how all these drivers will sort out. You see 20 and McDowell get real loose right up off the corner. Dowell's been struggling with his car. He's already spun it once. Luckily for him, he's running in P5 right now, trying to get the hang of the machine.
Yellow flag.
Yellow. Oh, dang it.
And it's the 38 of Mitch Hobbs has gone around on the front stretch.
Ah, as we were hoping for. Green flag run. Unfortunately, the 38 will slice it in half, but we'll get a replay of what happened to the number 38 of Mitch Hobbs as he worked himself right off of turn number 4.
It looks like he was catching the 72 of Hankins and just lost it. Oh.
That's a hard hit to the outside. If you get loose right up off the corner, well, it's bad to spin it, but even worse to overcorrect. And unfortunately for the 38, he overcorrected, and the whole right side of his machine is dead into the wall. But these drivers are going to hit pit road this time by. Miller stays himself out.
As does Basin, as Basin just pit about 6 or 7 laps ago.
Right. It works out to his favor.
There's Mulrooney also coming in for some service here. Most of the other top 10 as well. As we saw some pit strategy play out at Charlotte on Wednesday night in the Bronze Series race, speaking of Nick Miller, is on one of the last cautions, he took 2 tires while the rest of the field took 4, and he ended up winning the race with it. And then he built on that and won the truck race last night. So Nick Miller's had a really solid week so far, so it'll be interesting to see if he can parlay that into a cup win tonight.
He currently leads the field as of right now. Miller leading his first laps of tonight's race has worked themselves off pit road. The first one out, Derek M. Smith. He's going to be starting in P7. Basin is the one to lead it, and Miller comes in. So, interesting call. Miller to come in late.
Probably just a move to gain a bonus point for a lap led, if I had to guess.
Right.
But he shouldn't, with fresher tires and with a lot of the field damaged up now, I wouldn't imagine, barring crazy stuff going on, for it to take him that long to get right back up to the front again.
I mean, Miller himself has a bit of damage on his rear end. Remember the contact rear with Alex K. Greats off the restart. The 017 currently sitting in 10th place. I'm surprised that car is held up as of right now. He's still competitive toward the front, but we're yet to cross in halfway point soon. So I think this is the 6th caution. Seems about every 10 laps we'll get a caution. That's the trend as of right now. But
What, you know, if we what's the word I'm looking for here? But if we, you know, use that and we pace it out to the end of the race, about every 10 laps, we will unfortunately break the all-time iSCAR caution record at about lap 130 or so.
Yeah, it's the ratio of green flag laps. I mean, the amount of laps to cautions. Every 10 laps is a caution. So if this thing, well, you gotta include green white checkers too. So
of course,
we'll get about 23 cautions here for tonight. But that's honestly classic for NIS. For NIS standards, that's totally classic.
If you break the 2005 Coke 600 record, you've had a bad race.
No, there's no doubt. Oh my goodness.
And the word I was looking for was project, by the way. Like, yeah, you know, you think of something like way after it matters, but if you project those numbers, that's what you'll get. But I don't like those projections. I'd rather project a green flag run and see what happens. Hopefully, this restart is the start of one, but what do I know? I'm just a part-time commentator, so...
Alright, the pace car works itself on the pit road. Basin this time leads the field to the green flag. We're back up and away.
And Matthew Klein did not get going on that bottom. I think he might have stayed out on that restart in 5th, but and he almost made contact. But he's really
no!
There they go. Greats into the wall, and they're still. Oh my goodness! And Greats almost goes over, and they're still green.
That's ridiculous, honestly.
And I would question. Greats is probably really upset with Klein. I'm not sure why, if Klein's car was like that he would stay out. I can't understand why he would do that if he knew his car was like that, because that might have just ruined Alex K. Greats' really good run so far. I don't know why he did that.
Oh, Miller! Oh, nice save by
another save.
But I'm interested to see what happened. The whole field single file. If the caution comes out, I'll be really mad. But
I think he just got loose on the restart and just lost it in the turn. He didn't get going on the initial start, and then into turn 1 looks like he almost hit McDowell there, and then just lost it, and nowhere to go for Alex K. Greats. I believe he almost went up on his side here.
Yeah, bam.
Right there. And Mitch Hobbs almost got collected in that one, but thankfully he missed that wreck.
Fortunate for him, he had to slow down to just about stop.
As Greats is back in 14th now, so that's unfortunate for him, and Klein finds himself back in 17th, so Klein's gamble did not pay off. I mean, I perhaps would have made sense if, this race had stages, but it doesn't.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, there's just so many cautions. You can't really insert stages.
Yeah.
More stages would just insert more cautions, so...
You just have, 18 stages throughout the race.
Yeah. Every caution, you get to stage 1. I mean, bonus point, playoff.
I'm sure Derek M. Smith would have loved that.
Yeah.
He'd have 6 stage points already. And Dylan Basin might get some here, hypothetically.
Speaking of,
never mind. Here we go. Looks like Derek M. As Smith has the fresher tires, as Basin pit the caution before Derek M. Smith did. So put that 66 back to the point, as he was able to clear him out at turn 2. So.
Tagged the apron in 1 and 2. I thought he'd slide up into Basin, but luckily car control on that machine with fresher tires keeps it load straight, and he'll take the lead here on lap number 72. Excuse me.
As our pole sitter Ryan Kendrick now finds himself right back in the top 5 again, competing near the front. So good solid run for him, even though he had some early trouble with that damage you can see on the right front of his car. And with the back end. So good to see him make his way back up there and maybe get back towards the lead.
Well, here for sixth place. It's Hunter Ellis and Andy McDowell going to go side by side. Ellis, again, one of the drivers, faces in the field as he gets loose right up off the corner. Oh, there's 3 cars into a mess.
Involved in that one, and there's the caution. Bundren, you see sliding in there. That's the second time tonight that we have commentator jinxed someone. This is not okay.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Okay, they're good. Oh, I was about to say.
As I commentator jinxed Klein earlier, and looks like now you've commentator jinxed Hunter Ellis.
He worked himself off the corner and got loose, and
he overcorrected it.
Bundren caught him as he was getting loose, but...
Oh, and William Schmidt caught some air there on the back end of that incident.
Right.
I think Bundren jacked him up a little bit.
Yeah, as Hunter was overcorrecting, Bundren, he clipped, Bundren clipped the 01 as they worked right in, and you
Nick
see the
Miller
79 just nowhere to go as he gets clipped in the ran.
Nick Miller with a good job avoiding that wreck. William Schmidt did a good job avoiding one a couple cautions ago, but unfortunately couldn't avoid this one. As you know, if we didn't have any cautions and this was the first one, we would be approaching the fuel window for this race, but with the amount of cautions we've had so far, and if we project those numbers out, the fuel window probably won't matter.
Yeah. Top 4 stay themselves out in the racetrack. The first one out of pit road is still in base in the 68. Yes, and that'll shuffle Derek back to the front.
As Ryan Kendrick only lost 1 spot pitting, as you see the 01 come in for service because he was in that wreck, but Kendrick with a solid stop to not really lose that much track position.
And he comes out P7 for the next restart, but 43 minutes remaining in the race. Still a long ways to go from this point forward. I'm surprised how many lead lap cars we still have. We have a total of
looks
14
like 14
cars.
As Schmidt goes a lap down for repairs. As you see Corbin Collins, who was 2 laps down not that long ago, now finds himself up in the top 10 on the lead lap. So for some people, it's a good thing cautions breed cautions. For others, like probably us in the booth, not so much.
We'll pull up point standings before Richmond. I mean, before this race has happened. Ryan Kendrick in that 65 currently leads points. Falkingham did not show, nor I don't think the 90. Oh no, the 90 did show up.
Malachi's, I think, in top 10 right now.
Yeah,
has
he's
been
6th.
almost the whole race.
Right.
The entire top 10 showed, except for Falkingham, Trexler, and then, you know, the now banned Dylan Alt. But a lot of opportunity here for some guys to make some points up, as Malachi Drake, I would assume, and as well as Mulrooney, will probably get by Falkingham by the end of this race with only a 7-point gap.
As well as Derek M. Smith. He's running up front. He's led the most laps here in tonight's 200-lap event, but the top 13 get themselves into the chase. And next week we go to Talladega, so the whole points order is definitely going to be shuffled. We're expecting a lot of points to be handed out after 94 laps of the 2.66 oval.
Did Quan start the race?
Yes. Yeah, he's the 12th right now. There he is.
We just haven't talked about him all race. I knew he was fastest in practice, but I'm looking at the points and I'm like, we haven't seen him all night so far. So, I guess good for him. He's had I don't want to jinx him here, but he's got a clean car so far and had a quietly solid night. So, hopefully he can keep that up and gain some points.
Yeah, currently 12th as of right now. He's been roaming toward the tail end of the field, but he's keeping his car clean as of right now. iSCAR sets sights onto pit road. The 66 and 2, Mulrooney and Smith will lead the charge to the green flag. Let's go back racing at Richmond.
And hopefully stay green for a while. As Nick Miller with a good jump, 3 wide across the line. Dylan Basin with a
wow, what a
move
restart
on the high side, and he made it work. Mulrooney
to get the run off the corner. He's there. No, he can't. So Basin works himself in the third. Great move there to jump the restart and work himself to the high side in the 1.
As Mulrooney slipped from 2nd to 5th on that restart, just did not get a good jump there at all, and McDowell goes way to the bottom.
Got loose on the second straightaway.
Space will get by him for third, but yeah, not a good start from Mulrooney, so hopefully he can make that up.
Whoa, got a wreck!
Mitch hops in the wall again, and around he goes.
Yellow flag is out.
And yet another caution.
Oh!
My goodness! And the 028 of DeAndrea just piles into that. Not sure, just looks like it was totally unrelated.
Yeah.
Hobbs just spun on his own, then DeAndrea just plowed that inside wall. That was bizarre.
Got a replay. See right here as I don't know if he got bumped up the track by the 01 of Ellis, but he definitely came down to a stop. Got it on board as it's the 73 of Corbin Collins. Oh, Mitch was already loose. Getting, innocent corner, so no contact there from the 01. Unfortunately for Mitch, yet again, the second time today, he's overcorrected, and you see there.
Oh, that might end Jack DeAndrea's night. As perhaps he just got loose trying to avoid him. I don't know what happened there.
That was interesting.
Perhaps he had contact with the 26, who looked like he was near him. I don't. Oh,
that's what happened. Yeah, the 00 of Garrett Hess, I think checked up to let Mitch come to a stop, and DeAndrea was sort of caught off guard, and unfortunately lost the car as he was slowing down.
As Matthew Klein will take the wave around here and I believe get back on the lead lap, but as that's like the third or fourth incident Jack DeAndrea has been involved in tonight, as you see 6 laps down now, so not a very good night for that 028, unfortunately.
Pit road, but that's still about I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Oh my goodness. About
that was something.
Oh my gosh. 120 to go. There we go. We pulled up the race summary on the right-hand side of the screen.
It's our 8th caution of the night, so.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the trend is Larry McReynolds trends. You know how they go. I tell you what. Every 10 laps, we get a caution, and here we are. We're sitting on lap number 83. I tell you what, man.
Okay, Hank Hill.
Oh, God.
That is, looks like we're on pace to have about 16 or 17 cautions here, so.
Right.
Like, this kind of racing is supposed to happen at Martinsville, but I don't know about Richmond.
Oh, I mean, in a few weeks, we'll find out how it'll work out at Martinsville, because we have 50 more laps. We got a log at Martinsville rather than Richmond. 250 coming.
You'll have to call me back in a couple weeks and ask me if I actually want to commentate that one. I almost do, but I'm like, do I want to sit here and watch the whole field pace for 250 laps? And I just don't know if I want to. Well, I'm still holding out hope tonight that we can get a green flag run. We still have 116 laps left on the books here, so hopefully these drivers have it in them to bust out a green flag run and see where they can go with it. I'm holding out hope.
I hope they go I hope the green flag run comes in such a way that they'll have to pit with just like 5 to go or something like that.
Oh my God!
That would be fantastic. So
it's like
that would be the case.
It's like that's when the fuel window matters. Is right with 3 to go, and then somebody runs out and.
Now it's
we're evil people. We're up in the booth commentating the race, and we're thinking of ways of how their race could just go south like that. Come on, man.
Oh boy. 1 to go at the wire. There comes Smith.
See, all these cautions give us too much free time on our hands. So stop causing cautions.
Oh boy. Derek elects a high side for the restart. Interesting. I think he wanted to defend out Basin. What he's
gotta shake it up a little bit.
Right.
This will be interesting to see how this pans out, as obviously he is the control car. So
that'll benefit the 20 of Andy McDowell. You see him? He's pulling ahead for second place. Green flag.
Interesting call, but it looks like it was a good one as Smith will rocket right into turn 1 in the lead.
You got a nice arc into 1 as Miller got tight. Here comes Mason at the bottom. Oh! That was loose. Mason gonna shove it to the low side of Miller to get position off the corner. Some side-by-side racing with Kendrick and Mulrooney. Mason is still side-by-side with the 9 of Miller, but Mason's sort of pulling forward. And Miller is really shoving it in the corner. He's making that second group work as they're close right up off the corner.
Wow.
Near contact between the two as that's just allowing the 66 and Derek M. Smith to just pull as the 20 wants to get into the action. That's Andy McDowell. Everybody from second on back is sort of jammed up. In the meantime, this 66 and Derek M. Smith is gone.
Derek M. Smith is loving this. As the more they run side by side, the farther he can pull away. So I'm sure he hopes they keep doing this. Looks like Miller wobbled a little bit there out of turn 2, but kept it going. Now you see Mulrooney's looking underneath the 20 car.
Oh, the 20 lost it!
And he goes around. Oh!
Will that bring the caution out?
Please
it
no,
does not.
Say green. Oh. I wish I could high five you through the screen, but I can't because we finally did get a caution for something.
That was interesting because the way the 20 spun, he spun into a gap in which he could will himself straight. So we keep ourselves green, but unfortunately for that 20, Andy McDowell, he's going to be all the way to 14th, last on the lead lap, 8 seconds behind the leader there.
I had to hold my breath for a second on that one. As you see, Chloe Hankins looking to put himself up in the top 5 underneath that 90 of Malachi Drake. Haven't talked a lot about Chloe Hankins tonight, but started 7th and he now finds himself in 5th. So he's had a quietly good night so far, along with his 408 teammate Quan, keeping it clean in the back because he's in 11th.
Right, so side-by-side racing right behind is the 65 and Kendrick, the one who nearly got ran into by the 20 of Andy McDowell. That would be the 3rd time he's self-spun this evening, if that were to be the case, but that battle for second has deceased itself finally.
Mulrooney's looking for 3rd, though, underneath Nick Miller here. I think he's going to get it here. And he does.
Looking for a crossover in the front stretch. Can't do it as the 2 defends off near contact off of 4. Miller has a run to the inside, but Ezeckiel Mulrooney going to defend here all the way low.
It's Corbin Collins. I don't know. I think he's a lap down, actually. He's not showing up in the leaderboard. He's 11th. 11th, yeah. Because Ryan Quan now finds himself up in the top 10, and Hunter Ellis back up in there as well after Ellis and Collins both involved in multiple incidents tonight. So good to see them chugging along and trying to find it. Is that Derek M. Smith?
What in the world?
What happened?
He was the leader, and unfortunately, that whole 2-second lead has turned into nothing as we're getting a replay as Derek...
Oh!
Whoa, that was crazy. Derek...
That's more than bizarre.
Right?
That had to have been an internet issue.
And that just put Basin up front, and Derek... Oh my gosh, another way to get screwed out of a win right there. And that's a lot of front-end damage on that machine.
That must have been a really bad... He must have lost connection for a second, and then he just went right up into the wall as if he would have blown a tire.
Right.
That's really unfortunate. He was the dominant car of the race. I believe he's led like all but 5 laps today. But
yeah, and that'll shuffle the lead to the 68 of Dylan Basin. And he's now starting to pull away from the 2 of Mulrooney, who has older tires than Basin. But man, that was crazy. I've never seen anything like that happen.
As he's actually fallen out of the top 10 now, as Corbin Collins just got by him for 10th place. He's got to have engine damage now, because he's like I said, he's not even in the top 10 anymore. And he was just leading the race. That's really too bad. It's like you finally have a solid green flag run, and then you'd love that. You'd love that as the leader, and then that happens. Like,
yeah, my goodness,
man,
that's the worst thing that could happen to you under a green flag run. You've had so many cautions, and finally you get yourself situated. You have a problem in the lead, and Derek, unfortunately, falls out of the top 10. And not only that, has a bunch of right front damage on his machine. The way he blinked out, I'm not sure where he tagged the wall into the corner, but my goodness, that's just really unfortunate for him. But it all plays out to the 68's favor.
The silver lining for Derek M. Smith is that, you know, if Basic can get past and the lead keeps changing back and forth a couple times, he could get a bonus point for leading the most laps tonight. I just believe he's led about 90 so far out of the 100 we've run, or 79. He's got a shot.
Right, and we're coming up on halfway this time by, so we'll have to see on how the 66, how many laps the 68 at Dylan Basin will lead here for this run. But things are going his way. The trend is finally thrown out the window. And oh my gosh, come on!
And yet again, it's the 38 of Mitch Hobbs, and uh-oh, watch out, guys, as his front end is gone off his
The third time the commentators curse. I tell you what, man.
We need to just shut up for the rest of the race.
Yeah, oh my goodness.
Like, you just got to turn up the engine sounds and just let it play out naturally. We're...
Whoa.
Wow. Oh! The only way that could have been worse is if he hit that little opening, as I believe Michael Waltrip hit that opening once upon a time, but nonetheless, a lot of front-end damage to that 38 car. I believe Waltrip hit it in 2002, but a long time ago.
Oh, it was 03, but yeah, I remember him. That wall. Yeah.
Oh, boy. Well, at least we had about a 15-lap run there. There was a lot of good battles there, and this caution we'll be able to see how much Smith's damage is going to, affect his race here. Whether it's engine damage or if he was just taking it easy, who knows? But this will probably be a tell-all for what Derek M. Smith's got left in his car. As Basin will come out the leader without a problem at all.
This is the 9th caution of the night. So
This almost reminds me of the Texas Cup race from earlier in the day. We had a lot of cautions early in the race, and then after about maybe lap
halfway,
50 or 60 or so, it was smooth sailing the rest of the way. So hopefully this is just a bump in the road, and the rest of the way can be like Texas was, because the end of the Texas race was really fun once they got it all straightened up.
Right. Yeah, we went, I think
it was I think it was over 100 laps,
it was
right?
Over 100 laps.
It was a lot.
It was a long green flag run. That was the craziest green flag run I've ever seen. That came out of nowhere. But
I mean, we had like 6 or 7 cautions early in that race too.
right.
So just like this, as you see the 028 of Jack D'Andrea get one of his 26 laps back, or 27 numbers.
Yeah, and everybody came in for 4. Nobody taken, or actually a couple people coming on in to repair damage. One of them, Derek M. Smith, in that number 66. He works himself on pit road and, excuse me. Yeah.
As we now have, if he loses a lap, well, I believe we'll have 12 cars left on the lead lap. As with all this trouble, Garrett Hess now finds himself in the top 10 in that 00 car. Haven't talked about. Yeah.
Yeah, let's not zoom up into that car. Oh my god. But you see the 00 Garrett Hess, but yeah.
I plead the 5th on that one. Nonetheless, he has a shot for a top 10, but if we interview him later, I will not ask him what sponsors he wants to thank for tonight. Alright, well, as we prepare to go back green here, is not sure why Kendrick's down as low as he is. Now he gets himself situated, but hopefully this is the beginning of another green flag run like the one we just had, as Basin elects the low line here for the start. And
Miller tries to pull up alongside, but cannot get the jump. Green flag. Looks like Mulrooney pulled to the low side.
Glenn Bundren into the grass almost right there. I think Corbin Collins got into him on the start, and Bundren is very slow. So he restarted, I believe, like 8th or something, and now he's going to find himself tail end of the lead lap. Not really sure what happened on right there.
Hopefully for all of that, everybody.
Oh,
that's
Hess is loose, and he's in the grass.
keeps it straight. We still stay green as these drivers are tiptoeing through with cold tires. But here we go, side-by-side racing. So 2 Mulrooney is going to work himself low. The 9 and Nick Miller. Can make the pass. They're still
I think he's got it
side-by-side.
here. Almost. As you see, the 90 of Malachi Drake looking to join this little fracas here as he's in 4th place. So, looking at possibly getting a couple more spots here is car on the wall in the back. I believe that was the 01. And Malachi is there. He's pretty much at Nick Miller's bumper now. So they got a 3-horse battle for second here. 3-horse race.
Malachi Drake in that number 90. The only time he's been in victory lane happened in the bronze race first season at USA, where it went caution after caution. We didn't even log a green flag lap there, I don't think. It was that bad. But anyway, the 90 picked up the winners. We have a caution, speaking of. My goodness, we do need to shut up.
You need to stop it.
Oh, no. Oh, my gosh.
And it's the 26 of Matthew Klein. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I'm Michael Jordan. Stop it. Get some help. As Matthew Klein loses it out of turn 2 and smacks the inside wall, and oh, that was weird. His whole front end just fell off.
Well, the way he whipped around.
He didn't hit the wall that hard, but the whole front end just said goodbye and fell off. Interesting. As we now have 12 cars on the lead lap, with Klein going down a lap for towing. As Dylan Basin continues to lead here in a caution fest and a half here at Richmond, if you're just joining the broadcast.
I wonder how many... hold on, I'm going to do this right away, but I'm interested to see... No, we still have a whole hour left. So...
As Dylan Basin just faked out, and I think somebody might have gone down pit road. This Miller also stayed out, but...
Yeah, it looks like everybody... everybody's
trying to play some games. As Derek M. Smith is coming back down pit road, and that's one of the 408 cars. I believe it's the 72 of Hankins.
It's actually the 28 of Ryan Kwan. He works himself on it. And again, he's trying to keep it as clean as possible. He is keeping a clean car, and luckily for him, not only is he clean, he's in the top 10 as of right now with just surviving. And as I said, survival tactics are key here at for short track racing.
You should retract that statement before he ends up wrecking himself. Since
I'll retract that statement. Kwan, please wreck it. No, I was joking. But anyway, Kwan with a clean car, he's doing nice in the top 10. Hopefully he just doesn't get involved wreck.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
As you see, if you look there at the bottom of the leaderboard, that contact with Matthew Klein ended up doing a huge number on Alex K. Grates' race. He finds himself 43 laps down in 18th, so...
Yeah, he's actually retired from the race.
Yeah, promising run for him early on, but no more, as you see Mitch Hobbs make another pit stop here. As Mitch Hobbs and Matthew Klein have similar looking cars here.
Modified class.
Yeah, we have a little modified race going on. We just had the Rolex 24 happen at Daytona, so it looks like we're doing some iSCAR Rolex racing here.
Yeah, except it's on an oval. Short one.
Hey, new challenge for you. The Cup Series champion gets a Rolex from you.
I'm broke.
And a free portrait, courtesy of Trey Shuttlesworth Photography, our title sponsor here in the Cup Series.
Yeah, you can check him down on the description below on TreyShuttlesworthPhotography.com. That was a smooth transition, by the way. My goodness.
Yeah, right, it was.
Check him out on TreyShuttlesworthPhotography.com. We'll go ahead and give a link on the broadcast as well. Go ahead and check him out and contact him for info. And as I said,
/caution. I'm just kidding.
No.
I also have a new website. Is what is Mitch Hobbs doing? I think did he just lose it coming out of pit road? I think he just lost it out of pit road. I don't know what that was.
I wasn't.
Yeah,
looking.
I have a new website. It's www.com. You should check it out.
Stop. Oh, jeez. Getting ourselves set for the restart. Pace car is in. Lap
Again.
116, Dylan Basin.
Green.
Whoa, got some
Corbin
contact
Collins
behind.
did not get going on that outside, and for the second restart in a row, Glenn Bundren got hit by somebody else. Yikes. But I was about to say, with the amount of cautions we've had, we might have to start worrying about the fuel window for the pace car.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, and there's another one!
Yellow.
Garrett Hessen, was that Bundren again? Yeah, it is.
Oh,
Oh, and
DeAndrea just piled
Jack
in.
DeAndrea for like the 6th time tonight. Oh, poor Glenn Bundren. Oh boy.
That was weird. He
Just lost it.
yeah,
Oh,
lost
and
down
that's
straight away.
that might end Bundren's night and Hess's night. That can chop 2 more cars off the lead lap. So I believe only the top 10 will be on the lead lap after this now.
We see.
And DeAndre just nowhere to go at that point. Oh man.
Yeah, we're definitely reaching the most cautions in this race.
11. Yeah, we're almost there. We're halfway to the 05 600.
Yeah, my goodness.
We're really shooting for the stars tonight.
Yeah, holy crap.
We got to go stargazing after the race now.
Yeah, holy.
If you look up at the sky, you might see. You look at the Big Dipper, and you look over at the Little Dipper, and then you might just see an iSCAR race going on up there.
Dude, I
Whoa!
would freak.
Whoa, is that Mitch Hobbs? Oh my God!
I would freak to see an iSCAR race, like, pull out the microscope, and you're seeing, like, all these cars going around on the track. Not even going around, like, correctly. They're wrecking and crap. Oh my God. I would freak. Oh, man.
Speaking of Mitch Hobbs, you see him there taking the wave around and getting one of his laps back. And actually, I believe he's on the lead lap. The leaderboard's showing him 27 seconds up, so despite all that damage, he's somehow on the lead lap still.
Fantastic. And the most amount of cautions we've had, I think, was 13, and that happened at Michigan. Or, yeah, I think that. 13 cautions.
Was that the Michigan bronze race?
No, it wasn't. It was the Michigan Cup race.
Oh, good, because I commentated that one too.
Oh, yeah.
The bronze race.
Yeah, it was 50 laps there. And we had
More
a lot
like-
of cautions.
It's not cautions breed cautions. I breed them. Oh, boy.
Some interesting thing going on. The number 68 of Dylan Basin electing to save fuel. He might go the distance from this point forward. Basin gonna save it from. Well,
So I believe the fuel window is what, 75 to 80?
Yeah, 75 to 85
We
laps.
have 81 to go. Or yeah, with the
can
amount
make
of
it from this
cautions,
point
he might
forward.
be able to do it.
Right. Miller has to take note, and he's not. Miller himself isn't saving, so I think.
As Andy McDowell has been involved in 3 or 4 different incidents tonight, and there he is up in 3rd. Where in the world is Dylan Basin? There he is. But Andy McDowell, being a trooper here, and despite all the mayhem that's gone on, top 3 run for him tonight.
Right. I mean, I can't believe he only has 5x on the machine. Spun it twice, and probably gotten off track. That's probably where all the X's came from. Not even any car contact. Car contact comes at 4x, obviously. But yeah, as of right now, yeah.
X gonna give it to you. Speaking of X's, if anybody interested, the XFL kicks off next weekend on ESPN for the football fans out there.
I forgot. What you call it? XFL. The preseason games happen. I wonder how those went. Oh, probably
Yeah, and
switch it
with
up right now.
And with the Super Bowl happening tomorrow, you know, if you want, leave your picks in the stream comments. 49ers and Chiefs. I'm going Niners.
I'm going Chiefs.
Of course you are. we must have different answers.
Oh boy.
As the pace car will make its way onto pit road, and off we go again for the 12th restart tonight.
Green flag.
Nick Miller already down to the low side.
Yeah, on restarts, you got to protect as much as you can. Miller shoved himself once he got clear of that number 20 McDowell, shoved himself on the low side to go ahead and chop himself out. And we're 3 wide right behind here. These drivers are looking antsy.
It's almost like they don't want to go green.
Oh my goodness. 73. Oh my gosh, they don't
Corbin
want to go
Collins.
green.
Whoa.
Oh, what a save.
Nice save.
Couple mod classes. Oh my gosh, Bundren shoving himself to the low of Mitch Hobbs.
As Bundren's going to pass Mitch Hobbs here for the modified lead into turn number 2.
They're still going at it. Oh, speak it up.
And Ryan Kwan
saved it.
I think he kept it off the wall,
We were just talking about how clean he was, and fortunately for him, he still has a clean car, but all the way in 12th place now.
Well, with the amount of cautions going on, he is, I would assume, more than capable of still making his way up to the front. Anything can happen.
Definitely.
Derek M. Smith, despite his little mishap there about 30-ish laps ago, finds himself back up to 8th place. So all hope is not lost for that 66 car either. Now in 7th, with Juan having that issue. As you see the 90 car, Malachi Drake trying to peak for, I think that's 4th on McDowell. Not quite there yet.
I'm having an ATVO issue. Apologies about that. Bit of leaderboard issues going on around with the tickers. I'll try to fix that ASAP. But in the meantime, we watch the battle here for 4th place. A lot of drivers following around. Andy McDowell, Malachi Drake, Ryan Kendrick as here comes Derek.
Here. Yep, it's on the 65 of Ryan Kendrick for 6th place. So, despite hitting the wall, looks like there's still enough power under that hood to get him some places. So, you know, mate, hopefully for him, that place can be the lead again. As Dylan Basin continues to rack up laps led, trying to get by Derek M. Smith and get that extra bonus point. As he's about about halfway there, just over.
Yeah, and there's 70 laps to go. So I mean, there's 70, just about 70 laps to go. So it's still viable to get the most laps led. We'll have to see on how it'll turn out for him. But Miller, in the meantime, is trying to sneak up on that number 68, but can't really do it.
Since we're about halfway through the Cup Series season here, that extra bonus point could prove valuable later on in the season.
Yeah, and speaking of, here comes Mulrooney to the bottom, and he wants to work himself forward and get that lead to snatch an extra bonus point. Mulrooney, it's been a while since you've seen him on the racetrack. Decided to dip out of the Discord, and suddenly he's back in, and here he is running toward the top 5, trying to work himself around the 9.
Unlike Connor Brennan, Mulrooney's had a solid run back, so as Miller looks like he was trying to squeeze him down a little bit there, but it now looks like I think Mulrooney will get him into turn number 3. There he goes.
Yeah, so Mulrooney to P2.
I believe Derek M. Smith he got himself up back into the top 5 again. Derek M. Smith is a man on a mission. Here he goes looking for 4th on McDowell now, so don't count Derek M. Smith out yet. He's charging to the...
Whoa! He's still trying to wiggle the car straight.
Goodness,
what the heck was that save?
He still might complete the pass, almost.
Yeah, it was McDowell who got loose right up off the corner, and he slammed into Derek, who went whipping the car straight. I cannot believe he kept it straight.
Unbelievable.
Oh, got a car on the apron.
That's Kendrick.
I don't think Derek's going to be happy about that because...
I think he might get him here.
Yeah.
He drives it deep into the corner.
Yeah, Andy just going to let Derek by, and Derek
Malachi Drake's looking for... He's on McDowell's bumper as well, so McDowell continuously under fire here from multiple drivers. Trying to hold on to a top 5.
There's a bit of a leaderboard issue going on. I don't know what's going on. Saying there's 25 cars on the racetrack. The 26 cars on the racetrack. There's only 24 displayed, but I don't know who's missing from the leaderboard. In the meantime,
I am.
Me too. It's both of us. If only I was on the racetrack, that'd be great.
You wouldn't be winning though. What?
Ah, shush! My gosh.
Me commentator. As Dylan Basin continues to pace the field here at Richmond, if you're just now joining us, and we have a car on the wall in the background. I think that was the 20. It is. He keeps it going, but he's going to lose multiple spots here as the 90 and the 65 both go by him, and he might get passed by the 01 of Hunter Ellis here. Looks like he almost climbs the wall a little bit on that last run. But all that commotion's put Derek M. Smith up into 4th place, so...
Rooney's coming.
Yeah.
Hard to throw that out there, but the 2, Mulrooney, is
You
slowly
gained about
catching.
Gained about 2/10 that last lap, I believe.
Yeah, this is where Mulrooney is at his best during his long run, and this is probably the first time we've been in a big run,
Don't
more than 10
jinx
laps.
it.
But yeah, knock on wood. Hold up. There we go. My goodness.
We need some wood to knock on.
Yeah.
I got doors all around me, so I'm good. But you need to go find some wood to knock on.
Yeah. I don't even know if my desk is actually wood. Is it fake?
Probably composite crap or whatever
Yeah.
it's called, like plasterboard, whatever they call it. Meanwhile, Mulrooney's looking for the lead here underneath Basin. Got a big run off of turn 2, and Basin's going to lead this lap, but I think Mulrooney was going to have the advantage into turn 1.
Basin could
There he
try and
goes.
pinch that number 2, Mulrooney, to keep the position. He's still side by side off of 2, but can he keep the position? No, he wiggles
He
right up
wobbled.
off, but he's still staying with
even
him.
with him. As I think Mulrooney will get him here, but watch out for a potential crossover here by Basin into turn number 1.
Oh, Mulrooney went to go ahead and
Basin
defend.
goes high. As all this side by side, here comes Nick Miller right into the picture. We got a 3-car battle for the lead now, with Miller now in this. And you see Derek M. Smith in the background trying to catch these 3.
I don't
but-
know if the damage on number 66 is viable enough to get himself up to this top 3, but
As
Let's take a
Miller's
look.
trying to go 3 out of 4 so far this weekend, as he won the bronze race at Charlotte and he won the truck race at Kansas. So Nick Miller's trying to go triple dipping here this weekend.
right, should be fun if Miller does pull off the whole weekend sweep. The only thing he wouldn't have won is the Sprint Car Series, which happened at Williams Grove. Trace Shuttlesworth picked up the W there, but if he does win here tonight at Richmond, that will mean he'll have to
Derek
go.
M. Smith's closing a little bit. He's gained about 2/10 as Matthew Klein will go on the apron and let the leaders go by. And Derek M. Smith, I believe, is catching these top 3 as Klein will let the lead lap cars go by. And we have another slow car coming up. I believe that's the 00 of Garrett Hess.
Yeah, that is up against the wall,
Yes.
and he's gonna. These lap
He
cars are
hit
gonna
the wall,
play
I think.
into effect. They can't out-track the corner like they need to, and the
Yep.
68 is gonna lose some time to the 2.
I believe Miller did as well. I think Nick Miller wanted to arc the corner a little more than he was able to there, with Garrett Hess already
Ooh.
occupying that track space as he wobbles there.
Both of them wiggled right up off the corner, and again, losing more time to the leader of that number 2, Mulrooney. In the meantime,
Yes. And
Derek-
Smith gets by Hess in the background there. So he's maintaining, he's about,
he's faster than the leader.
yeah, it was almost a mile an hour faster.
He's coming. Oh my goodness, I'm surprised with all that damage. Oh, you see a huge wiggle there from the 9. Well, they're slowly losing the machine of this.
As Smith's about, he's wow. He's got it
close.
down to about a second, a third now. Almost
Yeah.
down to a second. He's definitely coming.
Oh my gosh. You know how I was mentioning the fuel run?
Uh-oh.
This might be it. I'm not even joking, man. Here's how everybody stands.
Oh, did Kendrick? Well, is that a
See,
that
that-
a
yeah, that's a
leaderboard
glitch.
glitch, or did
That's a
Kendrick just
leaderboard
pit?
glitch.
Oh,
This is a leaderboard glitch for Kendrick. He stayed himself, I'm assuming, out on the racetrack for multiple laps around 44, because he might have pitted last time. I didn't see him up front during the first start, but this is what I was talking about. When these drivers do elect
looks
to
like
stay
probably
out.
about, if this stays the way it is, as you see Mitch Hobbs letting the leaders go here on the apron, we'll probably have to pit, or these guys will have to pit, I think, around probably between 180 and 185. So about 15 to 20 laps to go is when we could potentially see these drivers come down pit road for maybe possibly a fuel-only stop.
Now, the person who I'm eyeing on is this number 66. If this thing does go green all the way, this 66 of Derek M. Smith, he pitted 29 laps ago. He could probably push it all the way, but he's
Yeah.
going to be close on fuel. It's going to roam around. He's pushing it all the way to lap 70.
With a window of 75 to 85, you last pit on 120. That'd be right in the middle of the fuel window at 80 laps.
Right.
But that doesn't, of course, take into effect any potential green-white checkers we could have with the way this race has gone so far, are not out of the question at all.
Right.
But in terms of the way the race is going right now, I would believe that 66 is in the best position now, pitting about 15 laps sooner than these top 3 cars did.
The leaderboard screwed up. Don't know why. I'll try to fix that soon enough. But in the meantime, up front, it's now top 4 as Derek is slowly getting into the picture in that number 66. Dylan Basin as well.
As Mulrooney's opened up about looks like he's about 8/10 up on Basin now. So as Derek M. Smith closes on those two, Mulrooney's pulling from those two, and here comes Miller for second on Basin.
Basin yet again going to try to pinch off Miller. But the more he does that, the more that leader of the two is just going to pull away, and Basin's just going to let him by. That has to be frustrating to Miller.
Could be a crossover here.
Yeah, I tried it. Get wiggled off the corner,
wobbled, yeah. Derek M. Smith is there. He's caught these two.
Yeah, he's there.
If these 3 start battling, that'll be the exact thing that Aaron Mulrooney will want to see, as he's now almost a second and a half up on Nick Miller.
And he has to pit, though. That number 2 has to pit sometime later.
However, the more
not gonna make it.
The more lead, or the higher, as Klein lets the leaders go again to pit, the more the bigger of a gap he gets, the less time he'll lose after his pit stop if he doesn't pit at the same time.
Right.
Which could be beneficial later on. So, but no matter how you slice it and dice it, Mulrooney will still want to increase that lead.
Right. Has to be frustrating for the number 9 and Miller to get pinched by Basin. You're battling him with him, and after that, Dylan, in the midst of the battle, he's just going to let him by. So Miller, Bason's just either let him by or won a challenge for position as much as he could. So just a pet peeve of these drivers, because I know I've been in Miller's situation where you're duking out with somebody and you just decide to let you by, and you just lost so much time to the guy in front of you, and that guy in front of him being the number 2 Miller. So it's not playing to his favor. That's right.
See the slow car up here, coming up a couple laps. Couple of them actually. Hopefully they get themselves out of the way, but that would not be something Mulrooney wants to see. See 2 lap cars battling it out. So I believe that's the 98 of Glenn Bundren they'll be coming up on here in probably about a lap or so. Solid run for Corbin Collins in the 73 car. You see him in 10th place now, involved in those 2 early incidents and went multiple laps down, but with the caution fest we had in this first half of the race, was able to get himself back up on the lead lap. So solid top 10 run for him.
Yeah, I think we're in that portion of the race in which all these drivers' tires are heated up. They've gotten to a rhythm, and they're just going to start ticking off laps left and right. As you see, suddenly Andy McDowell has disappeared from the leaderboard. As Mitch Hobbs is on the apron.
As Klein's also on the apron, his front end is now back on his car. He's graduated from the modifieds back to the regular division, but I'm not sure what...
Oh my gosh, that didn't throw a caution. I'm genuinely surprised. He might have blown a motor, though.
At least he parked it and didn't cause anything else, but...
Right. I'm surprised it didn't throw a caution because...
I didn't even think it would.
I thought it would.
You see, Mulrooney's catching Bundren here, and I believe we'll catch Garrett Hess after him, so...
Right.
We'll see where Bundren goes and where Mulrooney goes. Bundren will let him go up high, and Klein letting more cars go by.
Yeah.
So, this is good for Mulrooney because with him getting past these lapped cars, he'll be able to zoom right ahead, and that'll leave Nick Miller and Basin and Smith to now have to maneuver their way by them.
Right. To the corner.
As we now have 9 cars on the lead lap, as Garrett Hess, who the leaders are passing now, is now gone 2 laps down. So, just like the bronze race at Charlotte, less than 10 cars will finish the race on the lead lap, more than likely.
started with 24. Honestly, that's impressive to have this many cars still remaining on the racetrack after 164. As Derek tags the wall off the corner.
This is where you jinx it again.
No. Wood. Go.
Composite.
Composite. It was plastic. It was plastic the whole time. Dun dun dun.
Oh yeah, more of that plastic crap. Am I right?
Plot twist.
Yes. As looks like all of the leaders except for Derek M. Smith have gotten by those lap cars, so could be smooth sailing here on out. As looks like Mulrooney's lead stayed about the same as they cycled through those couple lap cars. So there's coming up another one soon, but
now I'm interested. Some of these drivers are coming onto pit road. I mean, I know if we go green all the way, if these leaders go onto pit road, how many laps will they lose to the people who can make it on fuel? Like,
agreed, yeah.
Like if Derek can't make it all the way, maybe Glenn could get his 2 laps back. Well, this is just a wild case scenario.
This is big brain stuff.
Yeah. If the leaders lose 2 laps to Glenn has 32 laps on his tank of where he sits right now. I think he's currently he's
2 laps down.
Not even a car 1 lap down. Interesting.
I wonder if Derek M. Smith has already clinched the most laps led, as with Mulrooney going by Basin a couple laps ago. So I think if Mulrooney leads the rest of the way out, I believe Derek M. Smith will in fact lead the most amount of laps.
I didn't realize how close we are to the finish. Coming up on a 30 to go this time by, and again that fuel window coming into the picture. We'll see how all these drivers.
You see William Schmidt coming up here. Mulrooney will have to make his way around him, but yeah, here we go. 30 laps to go.
But you also have to keep in mind, we don't know if there was a caution or 2 within that run, so maybe Mulrooney can make it all the way around.
As you see Mulrooney coming up on the 73 of Corbin Collins, so now we've got the lead lap guys being lapped under green, so with him, more than likely about to be lapped, we'll be left with 8 cars on the lead lap here for the final run of the finish.
Yep. Right up off the corner, there's your leader, Ezeckiel Mulrooney. Works himself to the backside of number 73 of Corbin Collins, trying to put him 1 lap down. Denying him Miller.
As we'll be coming up on the fuel window here in the next probably 10 or so laps, is if you bring up that last pitted sense graph, we were looking at it a while ago, and those leaders are about 45 laps or so, and it's been about 30 since then.
Right.
So we're bound to, soon enough, there they go, 69 laps, nice. So soon enough we'll be hitting that fuel window, probably about in the next 5 or 10 laps for these guys. And this will be interesting, where we'll be able to see if Derek M. Smith can make it all the way.
Yeah, but I'm curious.
Laps ago.
Right. I'm curious if Mulrooney, within those 70 laps, a caution was between those laps.
Even if there was a caution there, I still don't think he'll be able to make it, because that will be like a 100 lap fuel run.
Right.
So even with cautions, I don't know how much he really could have saved. We were seeing before Dylan Basin saved some fuel on the last restart.
Right. Very true.
But not sure how much that ended up actually saving him, as we now have hit the last 25 laps of the race. So we shall see.
Yeah.
There's Corbin Collins will let Nick Miller go here, and so Mulrooney's open. His lead is almost ballooned here. He's got over 2 seconds on Nick Miller now.
But we don't know if Miller is saving either, so. Because Miller was saving yesterday during the Kansas race, and he didn't have to really clutch and coast or anything like that. All he had to do is just lift off the throttle and just roll through the corner more. But yeah, the lead's fluctuating from 2 seconds now to half a second. Now is Mulrooney keeping in check. He wants to save.
As you mentioned, a crazy scenario with Glenn Bundren getting his 2 laps back. Well, he's 8 down now, so we can throw that one out the window. But
yeah, he's on the pit road.
Corbin Collins is still a lap down. Who knows?
Right, but unfortunately for him, Corbin's on the same strategy as that number 2, Mulrooney.
Yeah.
That means it just plays into.
So now we'll have to see. So we're about to be on lap 179. So this is where we could potentially see some pit stops here under green. And with Derek M. Smith pitting sooner than those top 3, we're about to see how this will play itself out. Very shortly. As looks like Garrett Hess will lose a 3rd lap to Mulrooney as he will let him go low. So that 0-0 will now be 3 laps down, but still in the top 10, so still a decent day for that 0-0. Still with a top 10 cup finish, despite leading win the modified division too, so
right.
Double win for him.
Yeah.
So here we go, we've hit lap 180. So now we get to see when and if they'll pit.
A lot of traffic working around. Looks like Derek M. Smith, but this is we gotta focus in on William Schmidt. This is the person who's on the longest run. He's logged in. Oh my goodness! Actually,
it's too bad he's 12 laps down.
My ATVO is glitching out. I don't know how many laps he's actually logged in. It says pit stop 1 lap ago.
511 seconds too.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't convert into minutes, unfortunately, but. Yeah, I think the ATVO is glitching. I really don't know where everybody stands as of right now. William, on the leaderboard, I mean, on my ATVO it says William's been out on track for 95 laps. But I'm not sure if that's correct.
Who knows? It's entirely possible, but I doubt it.
If William could stretch it to 95, 96, I think the leaders can just only save a couple laps of fuel.
Mulrooney's got an advantage though, because if he needs to save, he does have a lead over 2 seconds. So
right.
He won't be able to save much, but he can save more than Miller can because Nick won't be able to save because he wants to win. And then you see Miller's opened up about a 1.5-second gap on Basin, and so those 4 cars were much closer together about 30 laps ago. Now they've all separated themselves almost evenly. So now, as you see Kendrick maneuvering his way around the lapped cars, but so we end up with the final stage of the race here. Now all the fun happens, hopefully.
Gosh, so this lap traffic just playing a huge factor in how these drivers need to go throughout the racetrack. Corbin gets a little loose off the corner. I don't know what the heck that means.
Yeah, words are hard.
Yes, English, my 14th language. Whatever. Malachi works himself
you know
on the
what?
left side of
It would be impressive if you could speak 14 different languages. I'd love to be able to do that.
Oh man, that'd be awesome. I'm working around the road right now.
Maybe one day.
Yeah, maybe one day.
As we're now 14 laps to go here, as Aaron Mulrooney's up almost 3 seconds on that 9 car of Nick Miller. So if Mulrooney needs to save it all, he's got the gap to do it now.
Right.
For sure. It could be that Nick Miller's also saving a little bit and maybe thinking, you know what, I'll be fine with 2nd place tonight as he gets the wall there, but I suppose that's entirely possible here. As you see on the leaderboard, Derek M. Smith could potentially be under fire from Ryan Kendrick in the not-so-distant future. There it looks like they're about 1/2 second apart now. So Kendrick has really I think Derek M. Smith's tires have fallen off compared to the others, even though he pit more recently. But Kendrick's got a decent shot to possibly get by him here before the end of the race.
Gotta mention Ryan Kwan is on the same strategy as Derek M. Smith in that number 28. So if these leaders do need a pit, that'll mean
he could shuffle himself up into 2nd, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where the 65 and the 90 are, but you just mentioned the 28 and the 66 being on the same strategy, so we'll have to see how this plays out with the Kendrick and Drake as well, because again, I'm not sure where they are on strategy in comparison to the others. As we are coming up on 10 long laps to go at Richmond.
I'm pretty sure they could probably make it all the way, but it's going to be close. I'm not sure how close it's going to be.
As Mulrooney's got his lead up to 4 seconds now. He's ballooned his lead As about 15 or so laps ago, it was about a second and a half, and now he's really opened it up. So now we'll get to see if he can indeed make it all the way, as Dylan Bason's caught up to Nick Miller again. So perhaps Nick Miller is saving fuel now, because Nick Miller was up about 2 seconds on Bason not that long ago, and we could have a battle for second here.
Oh, we got loose.
As Miller gets loose, so we're definitely going to have a battle for second here now.
Yeah, Bason works himself to the low side of Miller. Near contact as he worked right up at 4. Side by side to the start-finish line in Bason. Oh, this is the first time we've duked it out with old tires. We'll see how the outside line holds up. Miller going to shove himself to the corner, trying to work that second lane. Can't do it, man. Really overshot it.
Just 8 laps to go here, coming to 7. So this might be one of the last chances Bason has to make this move, so why not now?
7 laps to go for that number 2 of Mulrooney.
It looks like we're coming up on another lead lap car. That's the 01 of Hunter Ellis that Mulrooney's coming up on. So it looks like we're going to finish the race with 7 lead lap cars.
The way Mulrooney is running this race, I'm pretty sure that number 2.
I think he'll be able to make it now.
He'll be able to make it, because I don't think he's
not slowing down much.
Yeah, he's not slowing down much.
And neither are the Basin and Miller either.
Right.
As Scared Hess goes up high to let him go, and so just 5 more laps to go. So we'll be able to see now, can Aaron Mulrooney make it on 100 laps of fuel and stretch that fuel window out as far as you can. So now we'll be able to see if he does. It would be really heartbreaking if these guys have to pit. When you mentioned this earlier, if they have to pit with 2 or 3 laps to go, and it would really suck if they have to now that we've seen this race play out the way it has.
4 laps to go. All we can just do is just hold our breath, and hopefully Mulrooney will make it all the way around. Ball for second, semi-heating up. Miller wants to get to the backside of that number 68 of Basin, but not going anywhere as of right now. Derek M. Smith looks like on an island of his own. Ryan Kendrick as well. Malachi Drake on an island of his own. Ryan Kwan going to finish out the race with 0 X.
They're about half a second off.
Right.
That could be a potential battle. I think Hunter Ellis, I don't know if he's letting him go. Oh, no,
Yeah,
he's
just letting
he ran out of fuel for a second. He's just letting the leaders go. And we have 2 laps to go. Can Mulrooney make it? Could be the longest 2 laps of Aaron Mulrooney's season, so hopefully he can make his way to the end. Fingers are crossed. And we are coming up on the white flag at Richmond. This race was long. This race wanted to make me pull my hair out earlier on. But now we've finally hit the white flag. And Aaron Mulrooney, I think, is going to pick the W up here tonight.
Fairly slow through the final set of corners, but that's all he needs to do to pick up the checkered flag. Off of turn number 4, Aaron Mulrooney, win number 2 of the season, comes out Richmond. Congratulations to that number 2.
And Dylan Basin will come home in second. Oh no, he ran out.
Nope,
Basin ran out. Oh no, I forgot where the finish line was, but either this is not Talladega, but either way, Dylan Basin with a very strong run tonight of second place. Good for him. League co-owner Nick Miller will round out the top 3. Derek M. Smith. It's unfortunate he had that problem earlier on, but still rebounded for a strong 4th place finish. And Ryan Kendrick will round out your top 5. So this race did end up being like Texas.
Right.
Which wasn't a bad thing. We had all those cautions earlier on, and we ended up with a really long green flag round at the end. So perhaps all those cautions were worth it, because we got a really, really good long run at the end.
You see not Dylan Basin, but Aaron Mulrooney doing the burnouts on the front straightaway. Congratulations to him, as we're going to go ahead and see where everybody stands on the field. Mulrooney on top of the leaderboard. Basin, Miller, Smith, Kendrick. Kendrick, again, a strong run to round himself out in 5th. He'll probably retain the points lead after this this race tonight. Drake, Quan, Ellis, not Corbin, Collins, same thing. Hess rounds himself out 10th. Schmidt, Klein, Bundren, McDowell, Hobbs, Hankins, DeAndrea, great stamp. Portrait, I don't even know. Dewey, help me.
Jean-Francois Poitras. That is my best guess. But
Thank you. Brandon.
it's unfortunate he couldn't have a better debut than that, but
yeah.
he could do something at Dega. Who knows?
Brannon, Jones, Labrie, Visconti, and Nelson ran themselves out all the way through the field. Congratulations to your winner, that number 2, Mulrooney. We'll go ahead and scoot ourselves to the side. Going to drag in the top 3 for interviews here in just a moment. And we're back here live for the Richmond 200 iSCAR TSP Cup Series, Richmond Raceway. We'll go ahead and drag in our top 3 for tonight. I'll go ahead and interview our winner of that number 2 of Aaron Mulrooney Jr. And into the booth he goes. Aaron! My goodness, man. What a dominating last performance. I mean, what a dominating last run there toward the end. How was the car there tonight? Had to be good.
The car was pretty good. I personally felt like I was going to have a battle with Derek Smith there in the end, but, you know, it sucks what happened to his wheel. I mean, when that stuff happens, there's really nothing you can do about it, but, I mean, I personally feel he was one of the fastest cars and the best cars to beat. He's always a great competitor, and, you know, sucks it happened, but we're able to capitalize on it and wheel our way to a first-place finish for the number 2 Proximity Racing Toyota Camry.
Right, man. You're able to go ahead and take advantage of the number 66 mistake, but of course you have to feel bad for 66 of Derek, who led the most laps here tonight. But otherwise than that, how was it like working yourself up through the field, and especially those many cautions during the mid portion of the race?
Personally, I didn't really feel there was any really need to like work through the field here. I kind of felt like earlier in the run I could see where my pace was and where like I should be position wise, and eventually it was just, you know, setting up cars, going into turns and coming off, trying to pass them coming off, and eventually we were able to just work our way through the field and finish first. It's just going through and just making critical moves and passes.
All right, man. 10-4. Aaron Mulrooney dominated the last portion of the race. Before we let you go here for tonight, any other sponsors you want to thank here after tonight's run?
Yeah, Zeke, I'd like to thank you and Dewey for broadcasting tonight. I'd also like to thank Proximity Racing, Splashing Graphics, Trace Shuttlesworth Images, All-Star Garage Doors, and iRacing for creating this service.
All right, 10-4. Aaron Mulrooney going to round himself out in first. Can't wait to talk to you coming next race.
Thanks. Have a good.
Oh crap! I dragged him out early. But
It happened.
Yeah, my bad. We'll go ahead and drag in second into the booth, and that'll be Dylan Basin. Dewey, go ahead and take this one away.
All right, Dylan, you got a copy? Dylan, you got a copy?
Yep.
All right. So we were talking a lot in the booth during the race about how close the fuel could have been. Do you know how many laps of fuel left at the end of that?
I had 20 fuel left.
What was that? You're cutting out a lot. Sorry about that.
Had about 20 to fuel left.
Oh wow. Okay. So you were battling a lot with Nick Miller and Derek M. Smith during that last stretch. So how'd you feel the car was once all those cautions squared themselves out?
I mean, I never really got a feel for green flag. It was just, it would change every lap. Last it was tight, it was loose, sometimes it was both. But towards the end, it was just super loose. Whatever Maroney got, it killed me.
Yeah, Mulrooney had a really, really dominant car at the end of that. Any sponsors you want to thank for tonight's race?
Just No Percent Racing.
All right. Dylan Basin with a strong second-place run tonight. Hope to see you next week at Talladega.
I'll try to.
That was Dylan Basin, the number 68, and we're going to drag in the number 9 and Nick Miller into the booth, and here's that number 9 machine. And Miller, well, one of the restarts you got ran into by Alex K. Grade, so what happened there off of turn number 4? Miller, you got a copy?
Yeah, so Braid's pretty much, we had a conversation over it. He thinks that everything is real, and the only way he can get good starts is by trying to jump and be right on the rear end. So apparently his version of jumping is being 2/10 back and hitting the gas when his teammate hits the gas and drills anyone in front of him. He's lucky that me, no, I'm not going to say that. Nah, we'll just keep it at that.
Alright, man, 10-4. Well, otherwise than that, your race overall was pretty calm. You were battling it out there with number 68, Dylan Basin. How'd you feel about that battle?
Yeah, Dylan, I think, burned his tires early, so when Aaron and Dylan battled, I caught them by a lot, because I was trying to stay that right front as much as I could, but then as soon as I got behind Dylan, I lost, I think, a second, and then I couldn't catch Aaron once I got around Dylan, and then Mr. Big Lips, Andy McDowell, joined our call with like 15 to go, and yeah, he distracted me because he couldn't shut up.
Okay, man, 10-4. Nick Miller. Otherwise than that, before we let you go, any sponsors want to thank you for tonight?
Miller Motorsports, Vortex, the crew, I guess. That's about it.
Alright, man, 10-4. Nick Miller going to round himself out in 3rd after starting in 5th. Can't wait to see how coming at Dega.
Yep.
We got some fighting words tonight.
Yeah, I mean, short track racing, you know, it's bound to happen. But otherwise than that, how'd you think of the race overall, Dewey?
Well, once all those cautions finished and we didn't break the iSCAR caution record, the last part of that race was actually really competitive. There weren't a lot of passing, or there wasn't a lot of passing, but there were a lot of battles. So once all those cars got themselves out of the way and we had a good run, it was a solid end of the race.
Yeah, I agree. 10-4 on that, but otherwise than that, we'll round ourselves off with a high note after a long green flag stretch from 110 all the way to the checkered flag. This is the Richmond 200 iSCAR TSP Cup Series, Richmond Raceway. Round off here for the broadcast for tonight. My name is Ezeckiel Reyes.
And I'm Dewey Stram. Thank you for watching. We hope to see you tomorrow night for the Xfinity race and next week as the Cup Series is going to Talladega. Be sure to tune in.
We'll see you later. Cameron signing out.